So this is what the fueling station looks like when it's busy. You can't tell back there, but there's trucks all the way around. A lot of the lanes are 4 or 5 trucks deep. It's bad, and it's not moving. Their system might be down. I don't know. It's not moving. Yeah, just think about wasting your life in this thing, huh? Waiting. Are you a soccer fan? Are you thinking about going to the World Cup next summer? So I've got here ticket prices for the June 12th match between the USA versus TBD, to be determined, because they haven't done the drawing yet. It's a group stage match, obviously, but look at that ticket. That ticket per ticket is $220,000 per seat. So you think about 4 people going together, that's $880,000. And I don't know if an hour and 45 minutes of entertainment is worth that much money, but I mean, some people have money to burn. Seriously, this is crazy. And you really can't watch the World Cup live without breaking your bank here. The cheapest tickets, I think, are at least over $1,000. But these are the ones showing up on the seating chart here, so go figure. So I saw this semi-truck zipping on the road, and we stopped at a stoplight, and this thing took off like it was a Tesla. It's the Nikola Hydrogen Electric Semi Truck. Pretty amazing. I'm not sure how effective it is, but this thing zooms super fast right off the line, and took off like no other semi-truck I've seen. What's going on, my people? So this week has been pretty smooth. Can't complain. I had basically 6 runs, 2 to NorCal and 1 to Phoenix, and things went pretty smoothly. Ended the week on a Saturday night, so it was 5 full days. Got my 70 hours in. It was pretty much an efficient week, and I can't complain about weeks like this, seriously. If they can give me weeks like this all the time, it'd be great. I did 2,285 miles, a little bit shy of 2,300, so it wasn't a bad week at all. Being in NorCal, the weather was a lot more comfortable than Phoenix. The last round trip I was in Phoenix, and it was pretty hot. So, but there isn't too much to talk about this week because everything went pretty smoothly, and they took good care of me. I didn't have to make calls in to, adjust this or fix that or help me out with this, or, everything was pretty smooth, and yeah. So this week I wanted to talk about people's track records. When we're at work, they keep reports on us, data, metrics, reports on your on-time record, reports on your fuel, reports on how many miles you drive, just everything from A to Z. Whatever they can record and keep data on your profile, they will. And this helps determine how you're doing, how much of an asset you are to the company, blah, 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 blah. You know how it goes, right? Reports show stuff so that they can make the right decisions. Now, I want to ask you, these are some of the wake-up calls I have is, what's my track record when it comes to the other areas of life? Because nobody's keeping a spreadsheet or a detailed record of all the broken promises, all the mishandling of money. If you have addictive issues, time mismanagement on too much video games, money mismanagement on gambling, not taking care of your body by drinking too much, not sleeping well, just from A to Z. If we had reports on all the aspects of life, it would show where we're failing. And don't get me wrong, I don't know anybody who's not failing in one area or another of their life. And like they say, you have to choose your poisons, basically. And it just seems like with human nature, with human beings, we're going to have some poisons in our life. And those are our demons and our battles that we have to struggle with throughout life. But easier said than done. Just make the right decisions. You're not a robot, but yeah, I'm not a robot. And I don't always make the right decisions. But if you make the right decisions, you could avoid those problems. So people who are progressively thinking are trying things in life, making mistakes, picking up the pieces, and then fixing those mistakes and progressing. And you see other people that are afraid to make mistakes or afraid of the dangers out there, and they won't make any decisions. They'll stay back and they'll be cautious. That's a prudent way to avoid problems. And then you've got other people, like it says in the good book, it's like a dog returning to its vomit. You just keep going back and making the same mistakes over and over again without thinking about the consequences. So I think it's important to make sure that we're making the right decisions and being aware of how our life report is. And that's why older people encourage younger people to stop and take the time to reflect. Think about where you're headed, think about what you're doing, and think about what price is being paid for your actions. Sometimes we're so driven if we don't have those pit stops to make sure that we're headed in the right direction, I think we will live life with a lot of regret. The more you reflect with wisdom, the less you will regret at the end of your life. Anyway, I just wanted to share that with you this week, and hopefully it could be a starting point for you to think about things, think about your life, think about not taking things for granted. Anyway, hope you have a great week. God bless all of you. If you're a driver, stay safe out there. Thank you for following me on this journey. And peace. Until next time, cheers.